Hello Taurus, this is your bi-weekly forecast for the week of the 5th through the 11th of September, and then the 12th through the 18th of September. And this also applies if you have a Taurus rising or a Taurus ascendant. Now Taurus, remember, these are just general forecasts for the signs. So if you want to get a personal reading with me, you do need to go to my website, integrativemysticism.com. You can always follow links below for more details there. Some folks have been having a hard time because instead of following the links or typing it in, they've been doing Google searches. I did fix the issue, so if you prefer to kind of Google search instead of do the other stuff, that's all fixed up for you there, no problem. Now the way this new format works is that it's broken up so that whatever you resonate, you can watch, okay? If you prefer tarot but you don't like astrology, you can skip ahead to the cards. If you prefer astrology but you do not resonate with tarot, you can watch the astrology first and then you're good. So everyone kind of gets what they want. There is always a way to make that happen. So what is going on astrologically with this week for you Taurus people? Well, when it comes to the 5th through the 11th, of the month, we've got Jupiter moving into Libra, your 6th house of daily work, routines, your schedule, and this is going to create a very financially profitable year for you. Jupiter is going to be here all the way up until October of 2017. And with Jupiter in the 6th house, you can notice that, there may be an opportunity for you to get a couple of raises over the next few months. There's actually a great deal of energy sort of being set up for you to maybe expedite your advancement through the company that you're in. And usually this does talk about internal growth. So if you are looking for a new job, I'm not saying that, you can't find one. But what I am saying is that you're going to want to make sure that it's something that you can commit to take advantage of this opportunity and this continuous, bump in salary going up throughout October. So we don't want to be flitting around too much, but we're definitely going to be seeing financially much more opportunities growing our wallet fatter and fatter during the duration of 2016 and into 2017. We've also got, towards the end of the week, Saturn forming a square to Neptune. Okay, and this is between your 8th house of intimacy and shared resources and shared space and your 11th house of friendships. And this will create some tension or some problems where, if you have been sort of blurring the lines a little bit when it comes to your friends and money, your friends and property, as in, not necessarily like physical property. I'm not seeing like, like a car or something like that, but I'm definitely seeing more like space, like maybe you are storing something at a friend's house or vice versa, or you're loaning a friend money, or you're letting somebody, use a certain amount of your space, or you have been. There will be some clashes over that there. This could also cause an issue where we may accidentally be blurring the lines too much with potential intimacy with somebody who is just a friend. So there may be some confusion about that going on. And Saturn in the 8th house is saying, remember when somebody may be taking advantage of your good graces. And these planets have been squaring all year, so this might not be news to you. Odds are it's probably the same person it was earlier this summer, or maybe even earlier in the spring, that may be trying to, take care of the same thing again, or maybe the same issue is coming up again. It's been cyclical with him or her. On the week of the 12th through the 18th of the month, we have Mercury currently retrograde in your 5th house of romance, and it's forming a square to your Mars in your 8th house of intimacy and shared resources. And this is kind of interesting because an old flame or somebody that we have had feelings for but we're not really in a relationship may come back into our life or make more of a presence in our life. But it seems to be causing a bit of a disruption either with an existing romance or with an existing friendship. And what's going to happen at this point in time is you've got to pay attention to that Mercury retrograde. This person, this old flame, this old connection might not necessarily be the most stable or in the most stable place. So be careful about handing over everything to make them feel welcome just yet. We've also got a lunar eclipse occurring in your 11th house of friendships during this week. And this could indicate an end to an existing friendship or business partnership or living situation that you are in, because this eclipse usually does show up where we have grown out of a space or grown out of a person. You may be cutting somebody out of your life. You may be deciding, I am done with, with his irresponsibility, or I am done with her drama. And it's going to be a time where, even though a lot of these are fairly challenging, they are also very freeing. This is definitely a 2 weeks where we're dealing with problems that we have procrastinated for far too long. So, now that we got the astrology out of the way, let's move on to the cards and what is going on. Let's do the cards for the 5th through the 11th first. Okay. For your spiritual advice for the week of September 5th to September 11th, we do have the card of Elf-Struck. And I think you got this very recently, Taurus, because remember, this is talking about beguilement, infatuation, being a little bit too hung up or hooked on something that is kind of maybe distorting your perception a little bit. We may actually have some designs or some plans with whether it's with love, or with money, or with our job, or our even a fitness routine that is a little unrealistic, and we may actually be needing to pay attention to where holding out, whether it's holding space, putting in money, putting in time, is not going to have the payoff that we are looking for, not yet, not this way. There may be a need for you to pay attention to where, our imagination is clouding our judgment a little bit. So let's kind of move on to the rest of the cards for this week to find out a bit more. For your Earth sector, when it comes to your work and finances, we have the Knight of Swords inverted. And this card actually does not show up for you so much as it does show up as an interesting opportunity with a client or possibly a customer. If this is a new job, if you're looking for a new job, this could be, again, the clientele that would come through that job. The Knight of Swords inverted is basically showing up here where an air sign, or most likely an air sign, Aquarius, Gemini, or a Libra, is going to be sort of pressuring you to let something slide that is against the rules. And they're also trying to perhaps even cheapskate you out of something. So what we need to make sure that we do is that we stick to our guns, because the Knight of Swords inverted tends to be obsessed with the hard sell, the pressure, the desperation, the haggling, the bargaining. And so this week we don't want to do anything just to please him or her or shut him or her up. Stick to your guns. For your messages, your communications from others, you do have the Ten of Wands inverted. And this card is kind of like an unburdening for you and an unburdening for others at the same time. The Ten of Wands inverted may show where a friend or a relative is actually going to have more time for you because of downsizing they've been doing in their own life. Sometimes that happens where like a friend or a relative is like, oh my goodness, it's like we don't see that person anymore now that they're in a relationship, or we don't see that person anymore now that they've taken on, this extra hobby, or they've disappeared, or they're not showing up as much as they could, or we'd like to see more of them. Whatever that impediment is to that closeness, to that bond, to that opportunity is being released. So I think you'll be very happy to have this person back in your life, or if not back in your life, more available and more, I guess you could say, involved in your life on a regular basis. For your love life, we do have the Four of Cups inverted. And this is kind of an interesting card to get because it talks about you, Taurus, especially if you're single, choosing to go your own way. If you've been in a situation where you've been dating a few people, but you're not really sure if you can commit, maybe, you're not married, you don't have to commit. If you're single and you're kind of like, I've been weighing my options and I'm not feeling it, you may choose to abandon your type this week. You may come to a conclusion that it's safe and okay to explore an avenue that you've wanted to explore in the past, but, you know, you never thought maybe it would be something that people would deem acceptable. Maybe it's like, you know, maybe you're thinking about going out of your age range. Maybe you're thinking about going out of your commute bubble. Maybe you're thinking about just going for a type that people would not normally think that you would go for. But it actually shows that this would not necessarily be bad, single Tauruses. For those of you who are currently coupled, the Four of Cups inverted definitely says that we need to just kind of rearrange our routine that we have together. Everything's become too formulaic. And I think that what's happening this week is that you and your partner are both in recognition of how too formulaic our relationship has become. There's one thing with comfort, but there's another thing with sort of that routine becoming a drag. And so I think that this week we're going to be definitely working together in a very happy way to make sure that we're both having fun and kind of, you know, feeling rejuvenated. So what's going on with the 12th through the 18th? Well, for your spiritual advice for the 12th to the 18th, we've got the card of the Elf Queen. And this always talks about the burden of honor and responsibility and leadership. Okay, now this might sound like, oh my God, that's not a good card. No, actually it is a good card. You know, this is talking about putting people first, the ones that you would take a bullet for. All right. Sometimes we get really distracted and we think that our BFF or our boyfriend, girlfriend, or whoever, you know, is always going to be there. So sometimes we accidentally always, you know, choose them last. We may accidentally take them for granted. On some level, you should be able to take for granted that the people closest to you, again, the friends, the lovers, the relatives, and all that, will always be there for you. But this week we need to affirm those bonds. And this might have to do with you reaching out to one of these people that you feel like, you know, needs to know that you still care, or maybe you feel like, you know, maybe with that kind of, you know, maybe it's that person who made room for you. But the Elf Queen is also saying, when it comes to leadership, you're also kind of jumping into their world. And I think that this week, you know, maybe actually solving another person's problem may give you some insight into how to solve an issue of your own. For your finances and your work life, we do have the Lover's card upright. Beautiful card, because this always talks about a long-term solution or long-term commitment in your work and financial life that's going to pay off in a big way. This could be a new contract, a new hire, or a new VIP client that you can definitely expect, again, to be paying off, something that's going to kind of set the new financial tone for you for quite some time. For your communications with air, when it comes to the others in your life, messages you get from others, we've got the King of Wands upright. So a fire sign, an Aries, Leo, or a Sagittarius, or somebody with those qualities to them, could just be a rising sign to them, is going to be reaching out, and it's almost like we're hatching a plan in secret with this person, this King of Wands. And it's kind of like the two of you are fed up about something, whether it's fed up in a funny way, like I'm tired of always, or we're fed up with in a serious way, but you have an alliance being forged here that's ready to be enacted upon. This is also a sign of somebody who's kind of jumping in to do the rescue or do the legwork for you. Maybe you need someone to help you share or promote an idea, invite people to something, get something off the ground. This King of Wands is basically going to be doing all the hard work for you. For your emotions with water and your romantic life, we have the Ten of Pentacles upright. So while we may have some challenges in that 5th through 11th week, the 12th through the 18th is gorgeous, because the Ten of Pentacles is basically saying here, this is where we settle in some kind of long-term plan or long-term, I guess you could say, agenda for our love lives. We're getting things grounded, we're getting things practical, we're getting things stable. This new opportunity could also indicate a great financial boon coming to a spouse or a partner if you've been rooting for them to get a new job, hoping that they would gain some kind of financial windfall. They are going to be sharing that good news with you. Some of you may actually even resolve to, if you've been planning to anyway, to move in with a partner, or maybe even with the Ten of Pentacles, a lot of you may even start integrating your partner with your family, or if you've been waiting for your sweetheart to start maybe introducing you to their family, this is the week where we start to see the meshing begin. Okay, so that opportunity is there. So that is your forecast, Taurus. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And remember, if you want to get a consultation with me, you can always follow the links below or go to integrativemysticism.com.